What you're looking at is the AlpiCOOL CX50 12-volt portable refrigerator. Is this the best bang for your buck 12-volt portable refrigerator on the market today?
Hi there. So over the last 48 hours, I've been running a series of tests on my 12-volt portable refrigerator. It's an AlpiCOOL CX50. If you haven't heard of it before, it's not common. It's a Chinese-made refrigerator. Princess Auto had them on sale for $349.99, which is a ridiculous price. $349.99, that works out to about $275 US for a 50-liter 12-volt refrigerator. If you look at a name brand product online, you're north of $1,500. If you go to an RV show and pick something out there, look at what they're carrying, you're looking at a couple grand. So for this to show up in a Princess Auto flyer for $349.99, limited quantities, and Princess Auto is one of those stores, if you're not Canadian, they kind of carry a bit of everything. In the industrial, farming, machinery related field, and every once in a while they bring in random surplus items, and this showed up. And being camping season and having a vintage trailer without refrigeration in it, it caught my eye. And so on the day of the sale, I looked online, they had 15 in stock. I show up there not much later, and I grabbed one and there were 3 left. So they went really, really fast. But the question I needed to answer is whether or not they would actually do the job. So I have 2 100 amp hour batteries. They're lead acid batteries, so you can only use 50% of their capacity. So functionally, I have 100 amp hours. And I have a single 100 watt solar panel that I had plugged into my trailer to keep the batteries topped up. I didn't know how much power the refrigerator would draw. I didn't know even how well it would work. And so I wanted to run a test over a prolonged period of time, which would simulate real world camping. And so I threw some jugs of water in the cooler.
Not a cooler.
Refrigerator. And I plugged it in and turned it on and ran it over 48 hours. And I went and periodically checked on it. The solar panel kept the batteries at 100% charge, topped up all the time. As long as the sun was out, or even on the rainy, cloudy days, as long as there was daylight, it kept the batteries topped up. So I was very pleased with that. And the actual draw from the unit itself, it wasn't enough to take the batteries off of 100% charge capacity during the day. So obviously, it was basically running off the solar panel. And at nighttime, the batteries would come down a little bit, but in the morning, they were still sitting at about 90%. And so my setup very easily kept the refrigerator running properly. So how did it work? Well, it worked fantastic. I'm really, really impressed, actually. And so my claim that is this the best bang for your buck refrigerator on the market today? Well, if you can find one, it just might be. If you look online, you can find a few YouTube videos of reviews of different size models. A CX15, which was the baby of the group. They upsized that to a CX20 by making the lid a little larger. They kind of bulbed out the lid. There's a CX30 that's kind of like the one that I purchased, but sort of a downsized version. And there's the CX50 that I have. There might be more of them out there. I don't know. But I gotta say, if you can find one of these, I would highly recommend buying it. It performed beautifully. It's easy to set up. It's easy to figure out. It's quite intuitive. Even though the manual itself isn't great, it's not that difficult, and it works fantastic. What I really wanted it for is long-term camping. You know, we go camping every summer, and last summer we were at one campsite for 10, 11 days, and I tell you, with using coolers and an ice box, you're buying ice every day. You're spending $5-10 in ice every day just to keep your food from going bad, and you're having to navigate the water in the bottom of the cooler, and you don't want your food to get soggy. So this is going to be so much more convenient because we'll be able to keep our food cold without it getting all wet. I know it's not like refrigerators are a new thing in campers, but we have a 1965 vintage camper, and so it did not come with a refrigerator. It had an ice box. There are some amenities that would be nice to have. Anyway, so we were buying ice every day. This year we're booked into the same campsite, and we'll be there for 12 days, I think, this time. Which is why when I saw this come on sale in the Princess Auto Flyer, I thought, I need to buy this, I need to try it, and if it doesn't work, I'll return it, and if it works, man, did I just save a ton of money on a fantastic product. And I think that's where I'm at. You know, I plugged it in, it didn't take long to come down to temperature at all, checked on it 8 hours later, checked on it that night, checked on it the next morning, checked on it the afternoon, checked on it that night, checked on it the next morning, which was today, came back from work and checked on it again now. It holds temperature beautifully, and the battery was sitting at 100% because the sun finally came out and is keeping things topped up. So while the whole purpose of my previous video was to determine whether or not it would perform in my real world scenario, which is a single 100 watt solar panel and 2 100 amp lead acid batteries, I'm ending up doing a product review because it works so darn well, and I'm really pleased with it. So, would I recommend it? Yes. Don't hesitate to buy one if you find one on sale. If you buy it from a store locally that you can return it to, if there's a problem with it, then you can return it. I'm sure it's not made with as high a quality components as some of the name brand units that are out there, Dometic being one of them. But you know, even with a Dometic, if you're van lifing, if you're camping full time, you're only going to get maybe 5 years out of it before you have to replace it. So why not buy something like this that might only last you 3 years? It will more than pay for itself within 8 months. After that, it's just money in your pocket. You might have to replace it a little bit more often, but I think it's well worth it. Thanks for watching.